That's bullshit.
It's crooked. You didn't tell me it was
Oh,
crooked.
I meant to tell you that. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Well, then I didn't mean to tell you that. So, we come back and visit. It was probably like 70. What? It was probably about 76.
Visiting where?
Back to,
Oh, here in Arkansas.
yeah, when I was in the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
So, Mabel, she's like, oh, I want to show you this, you guys got to see this. This has become the famous Sears catalog.
Is
Okay,
it the one with the guy with his wanker hanging out of the boxer shorts?
this is it. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen this.
I mean, yeah, but here you go. I'm like, wow, look at that snake crawling.
Yeah, they got
Bridge.
sued over that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the wife sued him. Okay, well, then you know about it. All right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how many people. I was at an auction this weekend, and this was just sitting in a box, right? And I go, I'm looking at it, I'm like, could it be? And I'm like, yes, it is. It's the one. And I'm thinking, how many people around here in this auction knows about this and I'm like,
Let me see. Do you got an earmark?
no, but I can find it real quick because I just pretty much
Because it's
know.
going to reach out and bite you.
Yeah, because I kind of just knew where it was at. Let's see.
That's kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where that.
Well,
that old snake's at.
yeah, we're getting close here.
Yeah, that's why they use mannequins now.
Ah, there she is. It is right there.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, the
He's
wife's like looking. Oh, look at my handsome
I
husband.
think I've
here."
seen him in some porn videos.
Listen. Let's see. Where's another picture of him?
I can't believe they let that go through.
It doesn't seem that prominent,
Right.
but I remember Mabel goes.
I bet this was an afterthought.
She goes, Lucky, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. My mother-in-law thinks it's cool to see a.
Should have whipped out of your back pocket a
Yeah.
penthouse. Yeah, looky.
Yeah, this guy's porn. That's him. Look at that package. That's not even fake.
Got a squirrel in there. Who was it? Ron White? Was it Ron White? No, it was one of the other comedians there. Talking about on a boat, cruise ship. This fella came in those Speedo swimsuit and looked like he had a squirrel in there.
I had a kid that worked for me. He was a tech sergeant. This was out in Texas, good fellow. And he was talking about. Now, his wife was from Biloxi. She was from Biloxi.
Okay.
And you know what you want?
Breakfast?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I'm gonna have. I would like a 2 eggs over medium, hash browns, 1 biscuit, and gravy, side of gravy, and better throw in some link sausages too.
Yes, sir.
Get them in there.
That's enough to drop you dead.
Can't forget those. What do you get?
Two pancakes.
That it?
That's it.
Are you sure?
I am so sure.
You're on lock this morning.
That's weird, even for me, and I know he's weird.
I am weird. Well, insinuated. You inferred.
Oh, no, you're just on lock this morning.
So
No, I think she just straight up told you that's weird.
yeah, that's weird. Two pancakes. So his wife and I actually got to meet his he called them his outlaws because we had we had a facility at Pensacola Air Station there.
Okay.
It was part of the language school, okay, and so we had to go visit, check it, make sure the facility was right. We didn't do curricula or anything like that. The facility was ours.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And it was we called it a geographically separated unit, GSU. And so I got to meet his folks because he and I went out there to do an inspection and everything. So anyhow, while we're there, because we're going to be there for like 3 days, he says, "Hey, let's head over to Biloxi because it's just a short jaunt to Biloxi."
Right.
I said, "Sure." He says, "You'll get to meet my outlaws and all this stuff." That's the one. I think I told you the story about meeting his his outlaws, in-laws, and when we got there, his mother-in-law comes walking in. She's just pissed off, and he's like, "What's wrong? What are you doing?" Greg's like, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "I went down to the dock to get some shrimp, and do you know how much they're charging for a pound of shrimp down there?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, I don't know, $4 a pound because that's what it costs in Texas." She goes, 78 cents a pound? I've never heard anything like that.
78 cents.
And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But anyhow,
we go down to the docks.
He's showing me the house, and he says, and speaking of Squirrel, that's his wife's nickname, Squirrel. Everybody called her Squirrel. I can't even think of her name now. But I said, so I asked him one day, "Why do you call her Squirrel?" He says, "Well, when I met her, I just said, man, look at that great tail." And everybody took it as... So anyhow, that's what I came from.
Okay.
Lydia, that was her name. But anyhow, he said, this girl, until I came along, had never left Biloxi.
Wow, she was homegrown.
Oh, homegrown. And then he marries her, and then...
drug her all over the country.
The world. He's the guy I told you about, was that C-130 crew chief that hated to fly.
Hated to fly.
Yeah,
right.
and he told me, matter of fact, on that trip, that's where he verified it, because we get on the plane, and it's a Saab 640, with that bench seat in the very back. And he got that seat immediately, and I'm sitting, one seat up from him. And we're talking and everything, while we're playing everything, and then the plane fired up and started moving, and he just shut up, and I'm still talking and everything. I look at him, he's like this, just gripping the seat. I'm like, "Greg, what's wrong?" And he goes, "I told you I hate flying." And I'm like, oh. But anyhow,
which is so ironic to be a crew chief.
Well, it's weird. I mean, it is, but it's a real deal.
Yeah.
It's a real deal. He told me, he says, I kept Dramamine in business. And but he had a regime. Everybody, the air crew knew and everything. He worked in a special ops organization. Okay. And they did a lot of testing of things. That's one of the things. But anyhow, long story short, he was telling me, he says, got stationed someplace, Aviano or something like that. And they decided, of course, Squirrel's like, "Oh, it's cool, but I want to go home," that kind of stuff. He told me, here's another story about it. When they were stationed at Hill Air Force Base, he said, our house on housing was right off the end, not on the end, but over to the side end of the runway.
Oh.
And he says, when we'd take off, I'd look down and I'd see that my car's still there. And then when they'd wake me up, because that's all he did. He said, when it's flying, I went to sleep. But they'd wake me up and they were coming in for, landing. He said, I'd look to see if it was still there. And she's like, I'm heading home or something. But he said they decided they were going to check out the French Riviera. And so they made a trip down to the Riviera.
Uh-huh.
And they're on a beach out there. And he said, we're walking along, and he says, Europeans, they do it their way and everything. And he said, we're walking along, and this guy's on his side, got his elbow, and he's reading a book on on the beach, you know, blanket on the beach and everything. And he said, I swear it looked like a kickstand.
King Cobra laying on the sand.
And he said, he said, don't look. Too late. It's the too late Ethel thing. She's like, he said you should have seen her face.
Oh no.
So yeah. So this I have been. I don't collect many things, but I wanted that. And matter of fact, at the auction, I'm waiting for people to move down and everything. And I'm thinking, all right, they don't know what that is, and that's okay with me because you know I'm going to get this thing.
And I bet you that was it an estate sale?
No, well, it was off from an estate.
Oh, okay. I bet that's why it was kept in the family.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't kept very good, but that's okay. I don't care. I just since the oddity of my mother-in-law just so giddy about. Say, look, I'm like, okay, Miss Prude, but she. So anyhow, I'm waiting for it to, you know, how I'm moving down and stuff like that, and finally, just before they get there, guy that's helping with the auction, he reaches over, asks this lady, "Can you hand me that catalog?" And picks it up and he says, "A lady requested that we auction this off, and she thinks it's the famous Sears catalog." I'm like, "Oh, they do know, or some folks do know." But he says, I'm not sure. I don't know. And I'm thinking, well, there's one way to find out. But
Page 328.
yeah, so he holds it up and everything, and I did 5, okay. And then and then the lady that wanted it, she bid $7.50, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. So I got this for $10.
$10.
All right. I ended up getting it. And when he's handing it to me, I went, oh, by the way, it is the famous one. And some lady says, it's famous? I says, yeah, Sears got sued over this catalog. Oh, really? I says, you want to see the picture? She goes, no.
No, I don't want to do it now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a shot that was rang around the world.
Oh, it was. And I didn't know anything about it until I come home and she's like, you gotta see this. I
can't remember how I was first exposed to it, but that was in 73, 4?
5.
5.
Yeah.
75.
Yeah, it's the fall and winter edition, 1970. Oh, I'm sorry.
6?
75.
5, yeah. Yeah. I don't remember how I was told about it, but I went to the catalog and I'm like, no way, look at this guy's wanker hanging out. Yeah,
So,
okay, moving on.
Well, and then, you look at it and you're like automatically jealous. There can't be real people like that.
King Cobra.
Don't forget Johnny Holmes.
Yeah, good old 13-incher. Good old Johnny. Yeah. God.
When I was in Australia, and over there, they're, prostitution's legal and all that stuff. They're not hung up on that crap. And thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yo, what?
Oh.
Got any more coffee?
Oh yeah, sure.
And a couple packs of butter.
So, we're coming back from there, or no, didn't see it. Coming back from work the first day, and over into the city is these signs, and they were having a thank you so much.
You're welcome. You want a walnut?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. You don't need anything else?
Nope, this is good.
All right, y'all enjoy.
There's this big banner that says, Ron Jeremy, here this weekend. Come see Ron Jeremy. And I'm like, I gotta go get that. I'd love to get his autograph and give it to Jeremy. But we some idiot said
who
we
is
gotta work this weekend. I'm like, oh.
Well, who is that?
Oh, he's the guy that kind of took over Holmes' place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, here's this ugly, squat. I mean, this guy ain't good looking at all, but that ain't what he's famous for.
No. So strange. Such a strange thing. But makes money.
Makes money. It's what actually. Porn is what actually made the internet work.
Yeah. Well, it made it. Well, I was going to say it made it infamous, but you're right.
I mean, when people realized, oh, well, this is a great idea, and then they realized, oh, I'd like to see some scenes from Emmanuel. You ever see that? Johnny was in that one too. Did you ever see that movie? You didn't see it.
I don't think I have.
I got a story for you. So, Liz and I are in Minot, and they had two theaters, and so I'm like, I'd driven downtown. The Empire was this one. I had driven downtown, and I saw on the marquee this movie called Emmanuel, and I'm thinking, oh, that's interesting. Maybe it's something, religious.
Yeah, biblical. Because Emmanuel means God's with us. That's what it means.
Yeah. Well, and for some reason, I just
snake.
For some reason, I just disregarded the 3 X's on the marquee. I just like, well, maybe Liz would like to see this. We went to that movie.
Did Liz catch it before you went in? I mean,
Nope.
As far as the marquee?
No, she missed it too. Because maybe they were just too big X's. They were, and so we went, and we're sitting down and everything, and we're just surrounded by old men. I don't know if I even saw another woman in there.
Was the carpet sticky?
I don't recall, but anyhow, we're sitting there, and it opens up and everything, and we're watching this, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, and then it dawned on me, there were 3 X's. Liz is like this. I've never seen anything like this before. I thought you said this was maybe a religious. I'm like, it is religious. Some other type.
Yeah, but your best try.
Yeah. So, that was young and don't understand the world kind of thing.
One of those I've never been out of Biloxi moments, huh? Well,
You guys give me a hard time about the pancakes. When I was working for the Air Force, I went out to Kirkland Air Force Base to do it was called a SONAC, Senior Officer Nuclear Accident Course. And so while I was there, one of Jason's old high school girlfriends was going to school at the University of New Mexico down, in Albuquerque. So I got in touch, and I said, "Hey, let's," because I hadn't seen her. I don't know. I hadn't seen her since 95, 96. No, I've been 94. Anyhow, long story short, did get in touch with her and says, "Hey, let me take you out to, to lunch. So we met up at an IHOP. No, Village Inn.
Oh, Village Inn. Yeah.
And it was just down from the campus and everything. I'm like, hey, how you doing and everything? Little cute as a bug, girl. The old cheerleader kind of frothy, single child. Mom and dad just invested everything. Matter of fact, when she got married, she got married. They moved to Colorado, I think. Their first child, the parents sold their house and moved to Colorado.
Wow.
That's how dedicated they were.
I was going to say, that's devotion right there.
Yeah, yes. And don't get me wrong, they're good people. I'm not going to do it. But anyhow, hantavirus. Remember that? No, you don't remember? It's a certain type of mouse that carries it. I forgot what kind of mouse it is, a rat. But my buddy who lived and worked at Bandolera National Monument outside of Santa Fe went to visit and everything, and he's showing me some stuff, and he says, "Oh, we can't go into that building or that building." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said, "What's the deal?" He says, "Hantavirus." I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah."
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, but anyhow, we're having this. And when we sat down, I says, "Order anything you want, anything you want." And I'm like, "Oh, steak, eggs, whatever." She had pancakes.
Like that girl on the first date. Oh, I'm just going to have a salad. Oh, can I try that of your dish? And that? Yeah, just give me a piece of lettuce and a glass of water. Toothpick.
I used to love that when Dad said, "Yeah, I need a toothpick, some ketchup, and some hot water."
Well, I got my garden plot done.
Huh?
Got it fenced in. Got it tilled. Got turned over. That was a little cultivator. And then I laid down a drip line, about 50 feet drip line. Buried it. Not deep, just, an inch and a half, 2 inches in some spots. Anyway, I'm like, okay, now where did I put those drip lines? Because I know I'll cut right through them if I don't mark it somehow. So I got these. They're like ground staples.
Yeah.
I got about 50 of those, and I'm laying them out. Well, I didn't punch them all the way down to the ground. I wanted them up a little bit. I don't need them to hold the thing down. I just need it to tell me where I'm at. Then I'm looking at it, and I'm going, well, those blend into the ground pretty good. So Karen says, cut up one of the dog sheets and make ribbons. So made ribbons. Now I'm ready. And I just got to wait for that next cold snap to go through so I can start dropping some seeds.
I haven't done this in a long time, but I started seeds. And I put them out in the greenhouse to, because, it gets warm, good and warm in there. But I had to bring them in the house because they're not germinating at all because it's too cold outside. Your ground has to have a constant 58 degrees. And even this morning, I don't know if there was frost on the ground, but stuff on above.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There was ice on it,
Yeah.
So I'm trying to germinate. I got them in the bathtub. I could put the flats in the bath. I put them in the bathtub, and that way I've got 3 windows in the bathroom, so I can raise those up. You know.
Oh, okay, sure.
But I don't need that yet. But yeah, I like I said, I hadn't done it in a long time, and I realized. I told Liz, I says, I've got to bring this stuff in the house. It's just not working here. It gets too. It might warm up, but it doesn't warm up enough constantly.
Right.
So
it's got to maintain a temperature for it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready to get going on it. It'll be my new meditation. That young thing's still working.
It's not slipping on this, is it?
There.
Handsome.
Thank you. Yeah, that would suck. So, Peanut, how'd that happen?
The mail guy was a substitute, and he comes whipping up to the house, to pick up the mail and stuff. I think he had earbuds in and all this other stuff, which doesn't matter. But and what happened? And I'm not going to sit here and blame this guy, okay? Because between Bandit and Peanut, whenever something's happening, they're always vying for the attention. And so they're always kind of like fighting. Every time I pull into the house, I've learned go slow because they're jumping around in front of the car and all this stuff. And so just go slow because they're idiots, right? And in this case, I didn't see it. Liz saw the whole thing. He comes whipping up. Bandit runs out there because this vehicle's slowing down. And when he gets excited, she would always run after him and, again, do this thing. They fight in front of him.
Right.
Not fight, but they're just playing.
My hyenas do the same thing.
Yeah, and so I think what happened was they were too close to the rig, and he just literally ran over him. And
That's so sad.
God damn it. I've lost Coco, Fluffbutt, Gus, and now Peanut. It's just the risk, that they, you got to accept.
Well, did he stop and get out?
I think that was the worst thing. I don't know how it affected him. That's the other thing. But Liz completely went crazy. And enough so that she's going to have to apologize to this guy. She's going to get her soul back. But, we're talking extreme emotions, and she might not do everything for the dogs, but she loves those dogs more than humans. Mm-hmm. All of them. Mm-hmm. And Peanut was kind of special. She's the one that slow walked her down to the house from the corner at Buck Range. And I'm like, You gotta be kidding, another dog? But she had this, she was a perfect fit because big dog's getting old. Bandit is still just full of energy. And he pushes Big Dog around, but you know, if they ever got in a fight, Big Dog's going to win. But the thing is, you know, he lets Big Dog's such a gentleman. Yeah, okay, fine, push me around. I don't care. Let me just lay down. But the nice thing is Peanut was a go-between.
Right.
You know, basically kept Bandit, you know, off of you know, Big Dog. And the other nice thing is she always cleaned up all the dishes.
Oh,
You know, anything they left, she would sit there and lick it until it was clean. You know, but God damn it, it was just
well,
it was a horrible thing.
I hate losing an animal. I know it's inevitable, but I just, you know, it just breaks my heart. Atlas is getting to that age where, you know, you know, get their muscle tones gone and everything like that. They're just a sack of bones. And that's where Atlas is. I finally found a balance. He was chewing himself up so bad, I finally had to tell Lisa, I said, I'm not bringing him for grooming. He ain't got no hair. It's just raw meat.
Yeah.
Well, I think I found the balance, and it was all about protein being too hot.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, his body just can't handle it.
You know, speaking about groomers, you know, we were taking girls to this place out, Wet Fur or whatever. We're done with them.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we
You mean
took.
the place on Main Street by the print shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
We took Molly there for her first haircut. Now, when you go into a place, you have expectations. I did that. This is a puppy, okay? Has no idea why she's there. Don't know. Everything's unfamiliar. And it was like, well, they just threw her in a cage, and Liz made the mistake when they asked, well, how soon would you like her done? Oh, no rush. Thinking that since we've been there, normally we get a call about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And both dogs are done, right? No call. So finally, Liz called, and they said, well, this is like 12:30. Liz says, so how's Molly doing? Well, she's doing fine. Is she close to being done? No, we hadn't even started on her. Liz says, you hadn't even started on her? So now you've got this puppy, has no idea what's going on, and she's in a cage with other dogs that she doesn't know.
Right.
All the smells are weird. She doesn't know why she's there, and they hadn't even started on her. We took her in at 8 o'clock, and I says, tell them we're coming to get her. And we went and got her, and had the audacity, well, because Jada had an appointment the next day, asked Liz, still on for Jada tomorrow? And she goes, nope. So now we take it to this lady downtown. Oh my God, she was magic.
Oh, the one by the old cleaners, Jameson cleaners?
Yeah. I took her home and I says, I'd like to get her first haircut and everything. You should have seen this lady. Loved on that puppy. You know, was looking her over and all this stuff. She had her own dog there, introduced her to the dog. But, I mean, she was still shaking from the experience because we went straight from there to her.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, yeah, she's shaking because she's been in a cage since 8 o'clock and has no idea. And, I mean, our expectation was, you know, it's a puppy. I know people want to get their
Don't
dogs
rush, but come on.
Yeah.
You know,
So they're done.
at least put her in the queue.
Yeah, I'm not ever taking anything to me. Ever.
That's too bad.
I'm like, God damn it. And you know what it is? It's the classic. The lady that owns that place started it up. Great intentions. Great place. You know, loved our dogs. You know, we felt like, okay, we have a connection with this. But it turned into a moneymaker, and she's handed it over to people that are groomers.
But run it in the ground.
Yeah. They're not looking out for the business. They're just there to make money. And I'm sure they love dogs, but they made a mistake right there.
Yeah.
You know, this is a first-time haircut. This dog has no idea what you're doing.
That's right.
And you left her in there all the time. She was literally shaking when we got her. I'm like, that's it. So now we go to this other lady, and she's just kind and gentle. She gave her a great haircut. So I'm like, okay, you got me. That's all I'm asking. I'm just human, you know.
And that's what I like about Lisa. Now, we used to, Barry and I used to take our dogs to a gal in Blue Bayou. And she was wonderful. She was just spot on. The compassion was there. Her own dogs were there and everything like that. And Lisa is the same way. Her own dogs are roaming in and out and everything like that. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for what you experienced, because it'll only take once.
Oh yeah, it only takes once for me. Yeah. Listen, I'm human.
Yeah.
That dog means more to me than your life, lady.
Yeah. Or your business.
And I'm going to tell you, all right, she's lost us. So, okay, that's $100 out of her pocket. And maybe she's making enough money she don't care. A lot of times it's that way. I don't care. She's coasting. That's what she's doing.
But the thing is, that kind of information gets around.
Yeah, well,
In a small
I plan on
community.
perpetuating it.
Yeah, small community. Yeah, that information gets around.
Hey, do you like tortillas?
Yeah.
You like corn tortillas?
Flour, perfectly. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
Thank you.
Next Saturday, head down to this the Hispanic meat market.
Oh, huh?
Go down there and buy a stack of their corn tortillas. Freshly made into Queen. They bring them over. They're still frickin' warm when you pick them up. And yeah, they're corn tortillas, but they're not like the stuff you buy off the shelf.
Yeah, I don't like the...
I know.
Because they just, the chain.
Yeah, these, like I said, were made that morning.
Wow.
They'll be in a cooler to keep them warm. And because 2 Saturdays ago, I'd gone in there to look I go in there just to look for new stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
I haven't stepped foot in there yet.
oh, you haven't?
No.
Well, if you, but anyhow, I went in there and I was talking to the lady, and of course it's the classic. What I'm saying, she's not getting, okay? And I asked her, I says, "Do you teach cooking?" And oh yeah, you know, could have said,
Yeah, my daughters and granddaughters.
yeah. And I says, "Well, where do you do it?" And I'm thinking she's got this kitchen in the back and everything, which she does. It's kind of a kitchen. And she says, "Yeah, come down here at 9 o'clock on Saturday." I do it I'm hearing I do it on Saturdays and Sundays. I thought, well, that's odd, but okay, fine. I'll come down here. You should have seen me walking in there on Saturday, and I'm like, got my little notebook to take notes and everything. And I says, hey. She says, oh, it's in the back. Some lady will help you back there. I go back there, and the lady's washing her hands. And I've got a notebook in my hand. I'm like, I'm here to learn. And she's like, huh?
Are you here to inspect?
Yeah, I know. Holding a notebook. Sure, you're here to learn. And So she immediately sends me back up front, and then I'm thinking, I go back up and I'm like, yeah, I'm learn to cook, because she says, I thought I was going to get to learn to cook carnitas and beef, which I believe it was carne guisata, which is a beef with gravy, or and tortillas. I thought, I'm going to get to learn to make tortillas, and no, that's not it. Her husband cooks up the carnitas and the beef, and they bring it in, and people buy it, and the tortillas are made into queen. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I
Take a translator next time.
yeah. So, or learn Spanish, and But the thing is I did get some of the. They gave me some of the. I got some carnita, which was really good, and then I bought a pack of those corn tortillas. When I reached down and picked it up, it's still warm. I'm like, oh, it's got to be good. And they were, man. I ate the hell out of those things. And but like I said, if you want a really nice treat, go down there on Saturday. I know you don't eat much meat, but if you like carnitas or their beef, it's top notch. But those corn tortillas, the kid in front of me bought half of the one of the coolers full. I mean, I don't know how many packages. They're a stack that big.
Yeah.
And and I know what his deal is. He was buying it for a restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get it any better than that. You can't make them there. Old guys. Yeah. So, but anyhow, like I said, if you want some really nice, you should just give it a try and see what you think. Now, of course, they're not made with any preservatives or anything, so they're not going to last.
Right.
I mean, they'll start hardening. I warm them up, so it's not a big deal. But they don't have that consistency like you buy off there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's like calamari. I was talking to Fred yesterday, and I said, yeah, I don't like calamari. If I want to chew on a Goodyear tire, I'll just go get a tire and chew on it. He said he was talking about him being in Spain, and he says no. He says you haven't had calamari properly.
He's right.
Prepared. He says it melts in your mouth. It's just that good. And
I'll tell you,
I've never
Greece.
had it.
Go to Greece. It's amazing, the calamari, but their octopus is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, they catch those things, and I found out what they do. They literally club that stuff tender. The tentacles.
While it's still on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They just beat the crap out of it, and then all they do is so simple. They just grill it over charcoals, and it's just
Simple.
amazing.
Just keep it simple.
Just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Hey, you got to drop truck.
I just don't eat that because I've never experienced it properly prepared.
Yeah.
And it's like the corn tortillas. Same. I mean, I bought corn tortillas, and I'm like, you really can't go wrong with a flour tortilla.
Well, and like I love menudo, okay, and you got to have a corn tortilla with menudo, and it's I have no problem with that. But I was really surprised how good these were.
Yeah.
They really are good. You should just run down there Saturday morning, when they open up, and just get those if you want, and just give them a try.
Well, I've been meaning to go by there, because I wanted to see what kind of meats they had. Yeah, you're right. We don't eat a load of red meat. I mean, chicken will go crazy over because,
Well,
chicken.
like their chorizo sausages are great.
Yeah.
But you want to make tacos with meat? They've already got it ready. All you do is throw it in the pan and cook it and throw it in your tortillas. Then they've got beef. They have beef and pork.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's a good mix.
Well, like I said, I've been meaning to go in there. I just, my schedule is so busy. YouTubing,
Yeah.
kicking my butt. Important things. Making sure Karen's fed. Those kind of things. I cooked a chicken breast last night. I had bought this pack of 2 breasts, and it has bone, skin. Because I've been hankering the skin of chicken. And morning, gentlemen. And so I bought a couple of breasts that have skin on them because I had done boneless and skinless breasts and put flour on them, thinking I want to have a crispy outside. Yeah, that doesn't work with that.
No.
So anyway, I cooked this breast. It was just one. Thing was this big. I mean, it had to be so pumped full of hormones and everything for it to grow that big. I mean, we're talking a chicken, not a turkey.
Yeah.
And I could barely get the lid over the skillet. God. So I got one left. I'll cook it tonight. I go to Walmart. I just pick up a few items,
You said 2?
And they had marked down some chicken from like $900 to $5.
Yeah, I'm always looking for that.
Yeah, it's probably been sitting in the freezer for 6 months, so I'll go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
And but boy, the breast was just humongous. And I'm like, what are they doing to these birds? And of course, it says range free. That chicken didn't get that from eating bugs.
Yeah.
Range free. Yeah, it's a little 2x2.
I think it was range free. We didn't let them go out.
Yeah.
That was something cool about Australia was how they do their chickens down there. Their chicken houses, when they say it's range, they've got these chicken houses that these little doors just drop open. And they just run out there and do their thing, and at night they go back in.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. There's a couple things I learned there. Like if you buy a loaf of bread there, okay, you better have it eaten. If you buy it on Monday, you better have it eaten by Friday.
Yeah.
Because they use no preservatives.
And that's what was so surprising. A couple of years ago, used to have a loaf of bread. We'd put it in the refrigerator because it would mold.
Yeah.
You set it up.
Right.
Put it in the fridge. One time, I got a loaf of bread, and it had been sitting out there for over a week. Not a single spot. I'm like, is it just petrified, or what, so much acrylic put in it, or what?
Okay. When I was a kid, I watched a movie called in Winston. What was the name of that movie theater?
I don't remember, but wasn't it by the 99 Tavern?
No, it was down. It was where
it was down lower.
Just right across from Bird's Market there.
Right.
And where you make the turn to 42 and stuff. But it was right there. Anyhow, went to saw my first zombie movie, okay? And it was the movie, I'll never forget it because it just creeped me out, And it was called Don't Open the Window. And the premise of the story is this is over in Britain someplace. They're using a special irradiation to kill weeds or something out in this field. They were testing it and everything. Well, it brought the dead back to life. So, and like I said, I didn't even know what a zombie was. I just never had seen it. I was, pretty young. But that's how I look at something like that. If it doesn't die, don't eat it.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's like tortillas.
Well,
they last forever.
You look in the refrigerator, and, Rebecca may have bought, the corn tortillas. They'll sit in there for months. And it's like, I don't care if you can still consume that or not. I'm throwing it away.
You don't even have to put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
I've got some sitting in the bread box. I don't know, Liz bought them 2020. I'm like, but I'm the same way. It's like, no, really?
Yeah. I mean, I like Ezekiel bread. You can buy it at Walmart, but
Yeah.
it's $7 a loaf.
Yeah.
But you better put that in the refrigerator.
Right.
There's I don't know if I told you about that. There's a program, an app that you can get called Yuka, Yuka. And what it does is you take it, you can scan a barcode, and they have an immense database. And it gives you the nutritional values and an overall nutritional rate.
I have that.
Yuka?
Yeah, I was doing something. We were in somewhere. I forgot Sam's. I think it was Sam's.
I use that thing all the time.
Yeah. Lady was showing me some stuff, and she goes, "Yeah. I think I have it."
Yeah.
And I says, "What's that?" And I ended up downloading it. I've used it a few times just to, what is this? And it does. It tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. I love that program. Because I found at Walmart there's they're like chicken sausages. They're like a link sausage, but it's made of chicken. And I go, really? Let me just check Yuka. And I scan the barcode, and it's like 68 out of 100. It's good. And that's what I've been buying. I'm like, okay. And, you do the link sausages like I got today. 0 bad, skull and crossbones on it.
I did that on purpose just to check one thing. It's nice and fuzzy, nice, good. I thought, okay, what about this? And they're like, candy bars, bad. And I'm like, okay, this does work.
It does work.
I'll have some candy bars, please.
And if you scan something that, like, they don't do dietary stuff and things like that, which is fine. They're really laser focused on what they assess.
So, what you gonna grow in the garden?
Okay, so I went 10 feet beyond the mesh cover.
Yep.
And what I'm going to do back there is corn and green beans, so they're companions.
Yeah.
They'll go together. And then I'm going to do inside. I'll do some tomatoes, and I want to do. And then I'm going to cook marigolds with those.
Yep.
They're companions.
And basil works good with tomatoes.
Basil. And then I wanted to do some kind of melon, like a cantaloupe or something. And maybe a couple plants of cucumber and yellow squash or something like that.
I recommend on the yellow squash.
Oh, and I want to do romaine lettuce.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to do some of that too. Now, that, if you plant it, if you just trim it about that high when you're harvesting it, just trim it about that high, leave it, it'll come.
It'll come back?
Yep, it'll grow more.
So I'm not going crazy, but I want to do a few stalks of corn, do some beans, and I want to do that on the uncovered area. Well, mainly because corn's going to grow taller than
Right. I hear that's a good. That is a good combination because the beans will actually grow up onto the corn,
they'll go on.
and it'll help keep the ground cover, good.
So that's what I'm going to do. Just a few different plants. Karen said she watched something where they take their tomato plants and they lay them down on the ground.
Yeah.
And let them grow.
Well, what they do is by laying them over, it allows better root ball, better roots, and then it helps the plant to grow. The more roots, the better, more fruit, better.
Sure.
And that's why I plant my tomato plants sideways.
Yeah.
Dig your thing, put it down, cover it, and just leave just a little bit of the top, showing. And everywhere on a tomato will grow roots. if you put it in dirt.
Yeah.
So that's, and I learned that from a guy a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's how they do tomatoes. Is they just go and lay them over, and then that helps the roots.
Because those branches are going to sink in.
Yeah.
And start.
They will.
rooting.
As a matter of fact, that's the other thing I do is I'll plant them sideways, and as they grow, I throw more dirt on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just keep throwing more dirt. Just strip the leaves on it and throw more dirt and just keep building, like build it up a little bit, like you do potatoes.
Sure.
And the more you do it, the more roots they get, the more fruit you get, and better fruit.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a few experiments I want to do.
Yeah, I'm experimenting too. Like, I'm going to raise some potatoes, okay? And I had an old container, galvanized water container, big thing, about as big as a table.
Yeah.
And of course, it rusted out on the bottom, so I cut it in half. And I've got it, not quite as big as the table, but close. And I cut it in half, and then I stuck it in the ground, filled it up with the wood and stuff like that, and then some compost leaves, and then put a cover over it, put that mesh stuff, and then some more leaves, and then put some topsoil on it. And that's where I'm going to plant these. And I'm just going to plant. Probably end up with 10 potato plants in this thing. And what you do is as it grows, you just keep hilling it. And you're supposed to do that anyhow with potatoes. You just keep hilling it, and the more you hill it, the more fruit it brings. And until you get to a certain point, and then it's not going to do anymore. So that's my plan on that. I want to give it.
Aren't you supposed to be getting those in the ground now?
Well, I'd like to, but
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to get to it.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Because as far as vegetables are concerned, I mostly eat spinach, romaine, celery, carrot, and Tommy toad. That's my vegetables.
I showed Liz something the other day. I was at Walmart, and they had baby spinach on. It's reached its time, and so they cut the price down. And I bought 2 of those containers like that. And I love spinach.
Yeah, me too.
But I like it. I like a little salt and pat of butter, and I eat it that way. I did that. You know where I came up with that? And I'm sure a lot of people do it. When I was a kid at Dillard Elementary, they used to service.
I didn't know that.
They had those prison trays, the metal ones.
Yeah.
And they used to serve spinach, and of course nobody'd eat it. But forgot how I got some butter. I got some butter on it, and I'm like, tried it. Like, hey, that's not bad. I ate it. And so since then. But anyhow, I showed her. I says, look, here's how you take. When you see these, pick them up. And what I do is I just steam them. Put them and steam them down, and then put them in a container. And then when you want some, get it up, heat it up, put some salt and butter with it.
Well, the steam locks in the nutrients.
Yeah. You're just wilting it, basically.
Yeah, that's basically what you're doing. I eat it raw. I mean, that's why I make my salads, because like I said, I try to make a nutritional meal for Karen and I. I don't like to eat a lot of, processed crap. Karen, she can live on cookies and crackers and junk like that, but not me. I'll get. This is sick, but I don't know what I ate. I went to rehearsal with Lynn and Retta, and we had some kind of. Wasn't a hamburger. It was a hamburger alternative sandwiches.
The one that has the car for sale.
The what?
The car for sale.
Yeah, that van.
Oh, well, I know his van.
I'll sell it to you for $5.
Okay.
It almost got a full tank of gas in it. But geez, I had diarrhea the whole Saturday. Just
Really?
like, oh Lord, I don't know what it was. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. It just didn't settle with me right. But I don't know. My body's just not tough like it's not tough like it used to be.
Don't have the iron stomach.
Don't have the iron stomach anymore.
Yeah.
God. I don't know. But yeah, now I gotta start my burn pile. It's getting kind of stacked up, and I've got all kinds of limbs and branches all over the place.
Yeah, I got to burn 2 before this rain came. Dried up just enough.
Oh, did you? You got it burnt?
Well, 2. I still have 3 more piles out in the back
Oh,
there.
God. Yeah, I gotta get that burned.
Matter of fact, Peanut is on the top of one of them, so it's a Valhalla funeral. But yeah, of course that'll be a while, you know. Especially down there, it's like, you know, I learned a long time ago, you got to let it be dry for 2 weeks before you take a tractor out there.
Yeah.
Unless you got a big old 4-wheel drive and blah blah blah. And you know, I know people need those, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not going to invest in something like that just because. Oh, looks like nephew's coming. See our nephew? He's a
No, he's
Step-
a red guy.
no, I see him.
Was that red?
Well, no,
Driving the truck?
yeah.
I bump into him at Walmart on occasion.
Do I?
I bump into him at Walmart on
Yeah,
occasion.
I always give him a hard time.
Yeah.
And he's niece's boss.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love seeing them together. Then I really give her a hard time.
Yeah.
Her name is Nigan. N-Y-E-G-U-N. That's Vietnamese.
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget meeting my first person, and that was, you know, he was Asian. He was a lieutenant, and his name tag said NG, and I'm like, so I went up there. I says, "Excuse me, do you pronounce your name Nig?" He goes, I'm sure he went, "What an idiot." I went, he goes, "No, it's Ing." I went, "Oh, sorry."
Why don't you put an I or an E at the beginning?
Yeah.
Help me out here,
Yeah,
Chief.
could you help us Caucasians out a little bit?
So it's not even ing, it's ing.
Yeah, that's really.
Ing.
But he goes, "It's Ing." I'm like, and he kind of laughs. So stupid, I don't know. But I had to ask. I mean, come on. I could see me getting razzed forever on something like that.
Yeah, or what is it? Nguyen? Nguyen?
Ingwen.
Nguyen.
Yeah, whatever. Ingwen.
And I'm like, I'll just call you Bob.
Yeah.
I can remember that.
Yeah, let's make it easy for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's getting pretty close to fishing weather, too.
You know, in all actuality, I bet you could catch a bunch of crappie someplace. You know, what we have to find is a place that, like, comes off the lake and it stops, you know, like a creek feeds it.
Yeah.
But a place where it stops, that's where they'll stop there and start, you know, making babies.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I worked over at Pine Bluff Arsenal, we had this chemist, and he was from there. Been working there for years, worked in that lab and stuff, and he was big time fishing. You know, I mean that was his thing, right? And I said, so you fish on the arsenal here. He says, yeah. They have a couple of nice lakes, you know. One's called Yellow Lake. I don't know if I want to fish that. But
Mustard.
yeah,
Mustard gas.
mustard gas is where we can. But he says, yeah, I'll show you where I fish. And so he showed me. We're out there in the back there, and he says, now you see this? I mean, we just went, you know, we're going down this gravel road, and there's a culvert there, right? He says, now, right there's where I love to start my crappie fishing.
Coffee, guys?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm fine.
About a half. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I mean, it's like a 10-foot hole of water. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, just backed up to the.
Blue Bayou.
Yeah, it's
Kind of hole.
yeah, it's backed up to the culvert, and you know the culvert spills in, so they can't go anywhere. They're not salmon.
Right.
And he said, "Oh yeah, I always start. Don't tell anybody. This is where I start, right there." And so,
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
well, he told me, he's like, "I'm sure I'm a safe bet. I ain't gonna go fishing." But
Well, that's what.
I want to do that long hole.
Which one?
That one up in Nathan. Remember I told you about it?
Yes.
Where I found
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Dad and I used to fish there. Big old. He called them goggle eyes, so I don't know. But just big old brim perch.
Yeah.
Monsters. So,
Well, weather's going to start getting better.
yeah. Well, I got a couple of new poles now, so I'm getting there.
And you got a license.
And I have a license for life.
Oh, I got to check to see if mine's expired yet. Oh.
Yeah, youngin. You're just another pup.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to buy yours every year.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check on that. Man, I don't know if I can scrape up $10. I'll have to
Sell your body.
sell my body and Coke cans. If I get enough Coke cans and sell my body, I should come up with $10.
Can we sell blood and stuff?
I've done that once.
Really?
I've done
money?
it once. I think it was like $15 or something. It almost killed me.
I know.
I told my buddies, I said, I ain't ever doing that again.
Yeah, why do you want to?
Well, they suck 2 quarts out of you.
Right, and then pump back
Pull
the
it
red.
back in. Yeah.
Your red blood count goes super high.
Yeah, that's not a good investment strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind giving it away, but I'm not going to sit there for that.
Yeah, when they pump that back into my body, I'm like, it's just cold.
Yeah,
You know, and I'm like, you can feel it just, oh, Lord, I think that is a cam boy.
cam bomb.
Yeah, I'm like, no. I'd rather whore on the corner of San Diego than do that again.
Coronado Island is the first time I ever had lobster roll. Oh gosh, and I have craved it ever since.
You can't find a good.
No, you know, there's some stuff online that you can buy. You know, buy them, send them right out to you, and it's like a kit.
Yeah, sure.
You get the buns and the meat and all this stuff. You just heat it up and you make it, right? But like for one kit, it's like, you know, $55, you know, for the lobster. So I'm like, yeah, I love it, but I'm not,
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
yeah, not crazy about it.
Some of that luxury stuff.
But that was really good. God, that was good.
That was back when things were affordable.
Yeah.
I can't believe the price of eggs.
Yes.
$6 for a dozen eggs. $8.
So Liz's class reunion's coming up, right?
Uh-huh.
So her and a bunch of the girls that, like, Susie, well, it was Millwood, but I can't think of what her married name is. Anyhow, Susie and remember Susan Trollard?
I don't remember. I remember Susan Elwood.
Yeah, Susan Trollard. I don't know what her married name is, but her folks moved from Longview, Washington, down to here just about 6 months after we moved down. Okay, and her dad was a director or something for Weyerhaeuser. I don't know if he was plant manager or something like that. They used to live out on the golf course road. But anyhow, she was there. And then Julie Jones, you remember her? Okay,
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all these girls got together at Susie's house. And now, here's how our regime is at the house, okay? You know, we watch, in the evening, we'll, watch TV or do something else, But normally we're just, done for the day and going to watch TV.
Go to our respective corners.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I go upstairs and watch TV because I can only take about that much Hallmark, and Liz can literally mainline it, and I can't do it. And
It's like Karen with her ghost hunting Sasquatch stuff.
Yeah. So, but anyhow, around 9 o'clock, actually before then, Liz would go upstairs, get in bed, and watch TV. Okay, and that's when dogs will kind of matriculate towards her and stuff like that. Or if I've got the fire going or something, they'll sit down. But anyhow, I'm sitting down. I've been doing some stuff. Come in and I'm taking a break. And I'm, finishing up the evening, got a nice fire going and everything. And I realized that, holy crap, it's 9 o'clock and Liz is still over there. And I'm like, oh, crap. Started drinking wine. She's probably somewhere. I tried to call her twice, nothing. And I'm like, she's probably in a ditch. Drank too much wine with the girls, which they don't. I don't know if they drink or not. So I jumped in the truck and took off over to Susie's house. And I get there, and there's like this flashlight coming out of the woods, and there's 3 people coming out of the woods. It's Susie and Susan and Julie. And I pull up, roll the window, and I says, "Hey, where's my wine?" And they're like, "Oh, she left about 15 minutes ago." I went, "Really?" And I says, "So what you got there?" "Oh, well, I forgot to go out and check my chickens and get some eggs and everything." She had like 8 eggs in a clear plastic egg crate, right?
Yeah.
I says, "Hold on, I'm going to rob you." She goes, "I know, these are gold." I says, "Yeah."
He went to Kroger. I tell you, I've been threatening to do something like that, but I'm getting chickens and stuff. But
I love those.
my dogs would eat them.
I love those reels that guy talks about. Okay, man, be careful. This one guy's like, be careful when you say yes to your wife getting chickens. And here's why. Well, you get the chickens, and then you got to have a big chicken house. And then he says, and oh, by the way, you got to have something for the ducks that she's going to get. And then you got to have a pool for them. Yeah, little kiddie pool and stuff. And then, of course, if you're going to have chickens and ducks, you're going to have goats.
At least.
Yeah, and so this guy went through this whole litany of things that, she had to have. And he says, at the end, he goes, "Don't get her chickens." And I've done that too.
Get her a cat.
Liz, a few times said, I'd like to have some chickens. Well, I know how Liz is. Okay, she's like the kid that wants a puppy, but when you tell them, okay, well, you got to take care of this puppy. There's a lot of things you got to do, and they're like, well, I got my puppy, and that's great, and you guys pick up the poop.
Yeah.
That's Liz.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love her, and I might, if I finally give in to it, we might get some. But she's like, at the beginning, like, well, I'm thinking maybe 20, 25 chickens. And I'm like, I looked at her, I'm like, who's going to eat all those eggs? And she goes, oh, I don't know, sell them. I'm like, to who? It was back when they were cheap, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then finally, I got her convinced. You know, I told her, I said, look, for you and I, we probably need 3, maybe 4 hens and a rooster, and that's it.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. I'm like, sorry.
You're not having a city.
Yeah. And I remember when we first moved down there, I thought, well, you know, I had all this grandeur stuff that I was going to do, and I thought about raising chickens for slaughter and sell them, you know, and stuff like that. And I just don't want to do that, you know, because I watched this.
I don't even want to pick up a cons anymore.
I watched this video. This guy put out some books, and one's called "You Can Farm Too." You know, sure you can. You know,
And that's how he got rich.
yeah. So
Buying his books. He doesn't farm.
But I saw a video of them, how they do meat chickens and everything. And they've got these, they look like funnels, and you know, they get these chickens and they pick them up and they throw them down their neck first, sticks through the funnel, and then they, you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's like Liz's dad or Liz's mom. Her and Howard decided they were going to raise rabbits, right? And so we came down and visited one time, and they had rabbit cages and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know, I mean, you just need a male and a female, and now you're guaranteed 40,000 rabbits, right? And I said, so what do you know, how do you do this? And they're like, well, we, you know, slaughter them. And I'm like, you're going to grab that cute little thing that you've been feeding and stuff, just slit its throat and get it. And yeah, that didn't last very long for him. Just, you know, visions of grandeur. We can make some money off of these.
Yeah.
You got to have a different mentality.
No, we definitely got to bounce back from this chicken egg thing. I mean,
I think it will, but it's just
it's going to take some time, though.
Yeah, but I'm still worried about that flu transmitting to people. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get real. It's a bird flu. And you know, and I even told Liz, I says, to be honest with you, I don't think we should even feed birds. We did feed some, you know, we fed 2 bags this winter, but I told her, I says, you know, I found one red-winged blackbird that was dead right at the bottom of the thing, and I'm like, I don't know what what killed that thing, but you know, I went out there with a plastic bag, picked it up, and threw it in the trash. I told Liz, I says, if you see one, go out and pick it up before the cats get it or little Molly gets onto it or something like that. So I'm kind of worried about that. You know, I don't know what killed it. You know,
Well,
could have just
we've
been.
got 2 bird feeders, and those birds, I tell you, we went to Hope and was grocery shopping at that supermarket, and Karen decided to pick up a bag of bird feed. Mm-hmm. Well, it was the little parakeet type seeds and stuff. Those birds are like, man, this is GMO stuff. We ain't eating this.
Yeah.
So I had to wind up buying, you know, the eggs and peanuts and sunflowers and stuff like that. Well, they decimate that.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I've got every kind of bird. Well, we were in New Hampshire. We just were in the neighborhood and decided to eat your.
You know what likes that little seed? The little small seed? Doves. Doves like that.
Well, see, in the ducks, they eat off the ground.
Right.
You know, Karen says, you know, maybe we should have some doves that come around and take underneath them.
Right.
Feeder.
Yeah, they're not going to get up on a feeder. They're not made that
She
way.
said, should throw some seed down there on the ground for the doves. I said, go ahead. I said, I ain't going to do it. I've got 1 bird feeder outside the garden area, and she's got one on the porch. And I'm trying to identify some of these birds. I've seen two different types of woodpecker. The woodpecker, fine. They'll hang upside down and they'll do it
Oh yeah, I've seen
like
that.
this, and I'm like,
I've seen that.
they're just weird.
Speaking of woodpeckers, did I tell you that all my persimmon trees are dead,
No.
and all the ones around it? Neighbors got them, on his property. They're all dead. I think the
Is
dry.
that from the woodpeckers?
No, it's from the dry, but they've been picking those trees to death, and lots of holes and stuff. It's just kind of, I guess the 2 years of very dry has knocked it, killed them. I don't know. And I mean it. I even had one that I really liked. It wasn't a big one, but it put out big old persimmons. I don't eat them. Yeah, I'll eat one every once in a while after the frost and stuff. But every one of those trees are dead. Every one of them. And those take a long time to grow.
Yeah. That fig tree, I mean, I don't eat a lot of figs, but, mostly the birds, I'll pick one and I'll go, well, the birds have been on this one.
Yeah.
Toss it out. I'm like, whatever. The apple tree, I had to cut one of them down. It got sick. And just cut it down.
I've been trying to grow apples. I have an Arkansas Black and a Granny Smith, and I'm hoping those two will pollinate because an Arkansas Black.
Then you get an old black granny.
Yeah.
Bama lamb.
Bama lamb. Thank you, Bama lamb. Because Arkansas Black apples, they have to have a different pollinator. They don't pollinate between themselves.
Oh, okay.
And I think even plum trees will pollinate them, I think. But that's all I have going. I know a Granny Smith will grow because there was one there when we got the place.
Oh, okay.
And it was producing, apples.
Yeah.
But something killed it off. I don't know. It's weird how trees die. And
You think it's just because of the dry weather?
I'm not totally sure, but I suspect that. I do know one thing. I'm glad that I cut all the trees away from the house.
Yeah.
Especially that big old pine tree. Because I look at those pine trees around us, all the big ones, the beetles have just eaten them all up. They're just dying everywhere.
Well, I've got 5 of them running south and north.
Yeah.
On the west side of the house. So far, so good. They seem to be pretty healthy. But, yeah, I'd sure love to.
Yeah, when I decided on cutting that one down, a couple weeks before I'd been down on the weekend, and I just kind of standing there looking, and I'm looking around, and I see all these dead pine trees, and I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna make it. Especially when Liz's dad had told me, a couple of years before, he says, yeah, I used to change the oil and just pour it at the pine tree. Going. I'm like, that can't be good.
You cut it, and you're going to see 3 or 4 black rings.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, anyhow. So, yeah. But I'm glad I got all of them cut away from the house. That's just not good.
Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 trees that I don't worry about the sweet gum out there. If it falls over, let it fall. As long as it doesn't fall on my ghetto box, storage shed. Yeah. It definitely concerns me, especially that tree that's on the north side. It's just, it's going to cause damage if it comes down.
Yeah.
Serious damage. Yeah. I don't know. Well, shoot.
Burned up another couple hours.
We did an hour and a half. That's a record.
If you can, get this catalog. It's a keeper.
Page 325. Right, Greasy Rick's. We're doing monthly breakfasts because we poke.
Well, we just know that you can't take too much and it's too rich for you.
Yeah.
So once a month is good enough.
Yeah, that's all you need. Yeah. So,
All right, my turn to pay.
no, it's my turn.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you paid it. Jan.
Yeah, it's his turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my turn to pay. Karen says, "Who's paying?" I said, "Me." Oh,
That's right.
eat mine.
Why are you even asking?
See, guys.